single day I'm gonna make something great. That's my way. Every single day I'm gonna...
I'm going to show you how I make my woodland pie. It's just a game pie, but obviously the game is all from woodland. So I've got a rabbit, a squirrel, and a couple of pigeon breasts. But obviously if it was in season, I'd have some pheasant, and if I had some available, I'd put some venison in. But obviously you choose whatever game you like, because obviously squirrel is not to everyone's taste. But if you've never tried it, I urge you to try it. It's like rabbit, but I think it's kind of a sweeter meat. In here, this is going to be just my braising vegetables. I've got 1 carrot, 1 onion, rosemary, sage, and some crushed cloves of garlic, and a pint of chicken stock. So what I'm going to do first is just break everything down, because it's all going to be slowly cooked, and then we'll pick the meat off the bones, so there's no real butchery to it. So that's the rabbit legs, rabbit saddle, and the shoulder, and the same with the squirrel. Obviously your portions are smaller, but you've got the saddle, 2 back legs, and the shoulder, and the pigeon breasts. All I'm going to do is just cut them into quarters, because the first stage of this pie, everything's going to be slowly cooked together. So in my slow cooker pot, I'm going to add my onions. I've kept the skin on, gives it just that little bit of flavour and keeps everything together. So the onions go in the bottom, followed up by the sage leaves. I'm going to layer the meat in there. So the rabbit, and the squirrel legs, a little tiny squirrel saddle, pigeon breast. And again, if you wanted to sear everything off, you can, but to be honest, it doesn't really make a difference in this situation with the pie, because everything's just going to be brought up to temperature really slowly, and it will retain all of its juices. So I've just finished it off now with the carrots, garlic, and rosemary. I'm going to tip all of that stock in there. I'll add a little bit more in to cover. So what I'm going to do with this is put it on low for 6 hours, or high for about 3.5 to 4 hours, just until the meat starts falling off the bone. So I'm going to get this on now, and then I'll show you the second part of the pie. So once all your game is cooked, I let it cool slightly, and I've picked it off the bone. So I've got a nice mix of pigeon breast, that's some of the squirrel, and obviously that's the rabbit, that's the loin of the rabbit. I've left it quite chunky. So with whatever vegetables you have, or whatever you like to put into a game pie, I'm just going to keep mine simple with just some chestnut mushrooms and some onion gravy that I've all seasoned. So I'm just going to put all of my game meat into a bowl, just my sliced chestnut mushrooms and the gravy. I do like a thick gravy, but if you like it slightly looser, then make it that way, because this is your pie. You can make it however way you like it. So everything is seasoned. I've done that after I shredded all the meat. So just in case, giving it all a quick mix together. And I was going to use this for my pie dish. It's my normal one I go to, but looking at the mix that I have, I'm actually going to put it back inside the dish that the meat was in. It's like I said, if you wanted to add different veg you can. I'll just keep along the themes of woodland pie by just keeping it simple with mushrooms and some onions. And also I make my pie mix in like separate components, let it cool, because then when I come put the pastry on, if you've got a warm mix, your pastry can start to bubble and melt. So as I've changed my dish, I'm only going to use half of my pastry, and this is just a shop bought puff pastry. Nothing wrong with it, it saves a lot of time and they're a good product. But if you like a short crust pastry, then use it. And if you like pastry at the bottom of your pie, so like I just said, just do it. Personally I don't really like short crust, I like puff pastry. Then we'll do a bit of a crimp around the outside with the back of a fork. Doesn't matter if you've got a little bit of overhang left over. And then a good generous egg wash. And then this is going to go, and that's just to let the steam out, and this is going to go in a hot oven preheated at 180 for 35 minutes. Well, the pie is fully cooked now. I'll have to let it stand for a couple of minutes. So I'm just going to portion some out. Got a nice crisp pastry top. I'll make a right mess of this. But a lovely rich filling. Try that in a minute. I've got a smaller spoon. But it's like I was saying with this earlier, you can adapt this game pie to however you like. And it's like I was saying, if you want a pastry base and a pastry lid out of short crust, then give it a go. But I hope you like this one of using up squirrel and the pigeon and rabbit for my woodland pie. So I'll be making some more pies once the shooting season kicks in. So I'll be out again shooting in the week and hopefully doing some more cookery with the game that I get. See you soon.